Greetings and welcome to the Safing Life
Welcome back.
video.
Video.
We are back in the office again on this lovely Thursday. I'm just quickly checking because the stream looks weird on YouTube Studio. I hope you are all seeing us well. If not, I'm sorry, and I'm going to fix it later. Let's keep rolling. On that note, today's topic will be focus on stability. The main reason why I wanted to bring this up, looking good. The main reason why I wanted to bring this up was because
Stability.
No, and it's important. And
Stability.
that
wasn't.
I know. It's
just for our ears.
It's not odd. It's not aliens. It's stability. I guess a couple of updates have come out on the Portmaster. They have been in beta for quite some time. We're now on stable on
version 1 through 11.
11, okay. And yeah, we sort of like mixed things a little bit up. We initially wanted to do it differently and had some features pushed back because we focused on stability. And I just wanted to quickly, like at the get-go, give people who are watching the opportunity to sort of like maybe ask questions about this, or just like, yeah, we will see where we go afterwards because like the main topic is fairly short today. So go ahead. Tell me.
Stability. So yeah, we actually had planned to release Portmaster version 1.1 and possibly also Portmaster version 1.2 last month, but we switched plans for last month and this month because we realized that the issues people were having with the ESPN were a lot more widespread than initially we believed. So we just put everything aside and just like I took maybe just 3 weeks just jumping into it and trying to whack all the holes and see like what happened. And there were quite some steps, and there were little improvements with every step. And with the last step, with version 1.011, I think we have solved all the very common issues. There's still like some weird things happening here and there, but all in all, I feel that the stability has increased a lot. We've also added quite a few servers the last week, so we now have, I think, it's 7 more servers.
Yeah, it looks beautiful on the map. Yeah. If you haven't opened the ESPN map in a while, have a look.
Of course, the problem with all the names and flags overlapping has gotten bigger, but that we're going to address in version 1.2. So that's coming soon.
But really, this is the topic of the day. Like we're just as you said earlier, we wanted to work on this already. We started. We have ideas, but we like pulled in the fixes first.
Yeah. Without there were not as kind of widespread, but yeah.
Which in turn. Why did we realize that the problem is bigger than we thought? Because people were reaching out. If you find something, contact us, let us know. We cannot say and stress this enough. We don't have any information. If the ESPN does not work for you, we need this information. There's also some updates in Discord now. I hope it's easier to do in Discord. Like David has been doing a couple things in there. And I now started doing the server guide and onboarding stuff. So if you're not part of the Discord, click on the link below. Join us there.
So and also, we received quite some feedback on Discord that is very, very helpful. Also, if you are already interacting with the community and with us, I would encourage you to switch over to the beta release channel, which mainly just means you get versions a couple days earlier. So you get fixes earlier, you get features earlier, and also that means
Bugs earlier.
bugs earlier. But that means you can tell us, and we can fix them faster. And especially if you actually hit a bug that breaks your setup or use case, you can just switch back to stable, and it works for you again, while we stop the rollout and actually fix the bug before it goes to stable. So whatever, if you are someone who interacts with us and the community, the benefit of switching to the beta release channel is really high. So I would encourage you to do so.
Please.
Yeah. So
We appreciate the help a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be great. That also like contributes to stability a lot because we can make sure that even less bugs reach stable. So you might have noticed that if you were on a stable channel, you jumped from 1.107 to 1.011. That means there were 3 versions in there that were only on the beta, where we iterated quite quickly to get the fixes out. And as soon as we saw, okay, now fixes the stuff and it works well, we then pushed the last version to stable. So
now it's all. We did not introduce any new obvious bugs, so we can push it to stable. Yeah, and we had a time period where we did this very frequently. Then we had a time period when we sort of had this very infrequently. I think around January we have been a little bit lax. We had a couple versions in beta for quite some time because we were still finding stuff in there.
There were some really weird issues that were only hit infrequently by some people with the kernel extension of Windows. So that kind of the use case where we had a bug with a very low probability but a very high impact, because in some cases it did crash the system. So that's where we let it in beta for probably a month or so. Because it is low probability but high impact, we wanted to make sure that it really is stable and works well, and then push that to stable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And thanks, Cian. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. For he just wrote in chat. Thank you for reprioritizing this way. Yeah. No. Thank you. And also thank you, Cian, for all the help on the Discord and via mail. I guess this is as far as I go without saying too much, but if you are who I think you are, thank you. Thank you a lot. Great. Okay. So how does the roadmap continue then? Can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek? How far are you ahead in this journey of focusing on stability, fixing it, and then what is there to be expected next?
So what I've already done a little bit is in the stability thing, we also looked into route calculation. And in order to fix things there, there's actually a new API endpoint that detects how ones of you could play around you if you want to. And what you can do now is you can let Portmaster simulate a route through the S-Pin. So it won't actually build the route through the S-Pin, it will just do the route calculation. So you can calculate route through the S-Pin, and it will show you which are the exit nodes that it's selected, which it discarded, and tell you a bit vaguely maybe why it disregarded some of the exits, and then it will show you what routes it found, and then you can kind of check, okay, how would it route in this and that case. You can't yet kind of give it a lot of settings, which just takes the global setting for the most part. Um, but it's something we built for ourselves, so we can um, check how the routing is working and check if it actually is as expected. And that led to us tweaking um, the cost. So internally in the SPN, we use a cost metric for lots of things to calculate um, the the best route. So um, the latency between nodes is added to cost, the bandwidth added to cost. If the server reports that it's under load, that will be added to the cost, and the um, estimated proximity to the final server you're trying to access is also added to the cost. So everything is added together, and then routes are picked on that cost, and then you can, with this new thing, um, you can look at what these costs are, and that led us to kind of tweak the cost calculation a bit, um, and also fix an issue we had with our gateway IP database. So the selection of servers in regards to proximity, so that's on the one side the selection of your home node, now works better, but also the selection of a server to the near to the exit works a lot better now. So what we started doing is we introduced regions. So not only do we look at which countries an MP address probably located, but we looked at the region, and every continent is more or less split into 4 regions: north, west, south, and east. And then we see, okay, it's the same region, this is a neighboring region, and we kind of can get quite a good um, uh, kind of estimates with that. And that is in addition, of course, to just getting the kilometers between the two estimated points geographically. But the geography doesn't really always take into account well the geography itself. So kind of oceans, mountains, and kind of cables, internet cables have to kind of find a way through that. So um, just crossing the ocean is almost always not a good idea. It's better to stay on the same continent because the cables there will be a lot more cables and bigger cables that you can use to get there. So it's not that easy kind of to estimate how near you are to something in the internet. So it's not actually about geography. We just use that as kind of a helper because that's the data we have. There is no real data on where something is in the internet. That data exists implicitly, and we already started working on a system where we can extract this data from routers. So what we started doing is we get the routing table of internet routers. There are some that are publicly accessible, and we get all this data and we recalculate through this data how the internet is actually built, which network connects to which network, and all that stuff. And that gives us a map. We actually produced a beautiful picture, rendered a picture from that.
I think this was 1.5 years ago.
Maybe or more. I don't know. So that's one thing we investigated, but concluded at the time that it was too time-consuming and costly to implement that now. So the easier way is just to go with a gateway IP as kind of a krücke, you know what's in English? I don't know, kind of a walking stick.
Yeah.
To kind of help us get there where we actually want to go. So yeah, that's something else that we improved and stability on that. And of course, the biggest ones were all the flow control, session handling on servers. So a lot of boring SPN internals that are very important.
a couple. Just to interrupt you quickly there.
Okay.
I just want to shout out Hagendas. He wanted to say, "Keep going, chaps." Thank you. We will. Also wanted to then clarify. This was earlier. This is the reason why I started with this. Then wanted to clarify that you said we, and every time we say something that we have something, everything is done locally. I just want to reiterate that. The GeoIP database is compiled with us for us, but it's getting like your portmaster has a local copy of it, and it does not need to talk. Like Safing does never see your route prior. Like your portmaster like does it locally. This is what I'm saying. Like it pulls the
everything
information.
is local, nothing shared with us.
It pulls the information. Your portmaster has it, and then does those calculations locally. And when you're saying like with the API and stuff, same thing. Like it's calculating locally on your device the theoretical route through the network based on the information that your local portmaster has. No pinging, no, we don't see this. Everything is local, and of course it's theoretical. So you're not doing this calculation anyway. This connection anyway. Sian then said, therefore is the therefore is the goal to have at least one node. So we're talking about the quadrants again, for each continent. Like for each quadrant of each continent. This is the question: is this the goal? And if so, how are we viewing the Americas? So are we? Is this north and this south, or do we have like the quadrants up here and down here?
Okay, let me.
And where's the?
Okay, I'm doing this from memory now.
Okay.
So I think, okay, it's like the data source we used had a very good splitting for every continent except South America, which was just one thing. I was like,
okay, but North America was separated.
Yeah. So we have northern, central, and I think eastern, which is kind of all the islands. So I think it's these three at the moment for kind of Northern and Central America. And South America is at the moment just one blob because the data source didn't provide any thing. And I was a bit stressed to get that finished, so I just would like to do split up. So there's just a to do thing in there right now in the code to improve that in the future.
Is it called to do because you're like
it's
putting in
actually-
fix me?
No. Fix me are the things that need to be fixed before release, and to do is kind of something for the future. So that's kind of what we use. So fix me actually triggers a warning on the pull request that would not let us merge it without an override power. So yeah.
So I guess Sam, we answered his question. He says exactly that. That was what I was wondering. Yeah.
So yeah, that's still South America is a work in progress, but everything else is divided.
And Central America is divided as well. So it's
Yeah,
actually the
with
Americas.
northern, central, and eastern
Cool.
for the islands, and I always forget what the official names of these regions are. Yeah.
Great. Cool. No, interesting. Yeah. So can you tell us maybe then if there's already interest there, like is Asia split as well, or is Asia?
I think every
Is the Middle
we have
East-
Europe split into four. We have Asia split into four. And then we have Oceania also split into four.
Okay. Africa.
Which I'm not sure how smart that is. I just put them all as neighbor to Southeast Asia. I think Asia might have five because we have Western Asia, which is Middle East, and then we have Southern Asia with India and stuff. We have Eastern Asia, Asia with China and Japan, I think, and Southeast Asia is the fifth one. And
Okay.
Northern Asia is in
Russia and
I think that's right. I'm not sure like where Russia is put into, but it's probably Northern Asia.
hopefully split. Okay, cool. No, interesting. Well,
Yeah.
if people are
It's not
interested,
that
where
easy.
in the code can
Yeah.
they find this? Just so
This
that
is-
we put it out there.
It is part of the GYP system. Like why did I do that in the code at all? Because I realized for some reason we do have of course we have coordinates in there, but we also have continent data in the QAP database. But for some reason that data is broken. Um, and that led to kind of weird things where North America was chosen for something in Europe because the content thing didn't match up. Um, so that's why I just did it. That was actually a fix to fix the continent stuff. But as data source was a lot better than I expected, I was like, that's pretty cool. That will improve this even more.
Mm-hmm.
So
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
That's why we just fill in our data from the code at the moment. I don't know if we'll actually transfer this to the database because it's not a lot of stuff, and we can quickly adapt better if it's in the code. Because database, like every time we update it, and we kind of do it once per quarter, which means it's due now, is I think it's 200 megabyte download for everyone.
Again?
As a 200 megabyte download for every of our users, which of course is stuff that we need to upload. So that's terabytes of data for our servers to move. So
yeah, not just the burden; it's also getting expensive fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So terabytes of data. Mm-hmm. Well.
So yeah.
But.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's probably just the most interesting part of the QFE stuff. The other stuff of the accessibility is so technical and so theoretic and boring. I mean, I can talk about it.
Sure. No. I think you sort of like went on a tangent as well when I thought like, what is planned for the future? And
yeah, right. So I started with that. Why I don't know. I just wanted to complete it maybe.
Yeah.
So what is planned for the future? Also some like in regards to of course the next two things feature wise will be that we get Portmaster version 1.1 and 1.2 out. So 1.1 will be these mini stats we talked about. So you'll have somewhere in a visible area, you'll see your current like total count of bot connections and connections that went through the SPN and
upgraded DNS.
Yeah, secured DNS requests, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that stuff you'll be seeing there. Kind of if you're using Brave, that's kind of what you see in Brave.
Yeah. Also with a little report thing, like where it tells you milestones and stuff.
So yeah, so I think we plan a kind of weekly or monthly like just notification, not intrusive, so just in the app, not on the desktop. We don't want to bug you. Here.
We don't? Okay. Brave gives me notifications on the desktop all the time.
Okay.
Not that this is a bad thing. I'm getting excited personally when I see this.
Okay. Maybe we'll give that an option, or maybe we'll just still talk about like how we're gonna do this.
If you have opinions, leave them in the comments below.
Definitely.
Or in the Discord. We tend to lean towards giving like settings for everything anyway. So this probably will end up being a setting anyway, but yeah, your thoughts are like would be valuable now before we did it.
Yeah. So that's the one thing. And the second thing, Portmaster version 1.2 will be an update to the SPN map, or we'll improve it to fix the issue with the whole names that kind of hover over each other because data centers seem to clutter in big cities. Who knew?
The data centers are
where the people are, and people are clustered together in big cities. So, yeah. So, and also it'll just clean up the interface, make it more scalable for more servers, so you get a nicer overview, and also you'll better see the difference between saving nodes and community nodes directly on a map. So you'll more quickly be able to see that. And yeah, there'll be a country overview, so stuff like that. Some improvements on kind of viewing that map.
I guess to the earlier thing in regards to Ministad, Sion wrote that because Portmaster runs in the background mostly, and it's designed to work like that. You set it up, and if you have to change something, then you open the UI, but basically it should run in the background. And getting a notification that tells you it's working, it's doing what you set it up to do, is a confirmation that everything is okay. Which I hope I got this right, and which I think is a good thing. Yeah, no, it's a reminder. The work I put in configuring everything, it's working, it's doing its thing, and stuff like that. Yeah, we have big ideas for the future as well, where this report might tell you about new connections Portmaster saw for the first time, like applications that have never connected to the internet, and then it's like, well, here you go, last week, all of a sudden your CCleaner connected to some weird domain. What is happening here, you know? Yeah, so those are some of the ideas. If you don't, like, if you're not in prompting anyway, you know, I'm personally not using prompting. I'm disencouraging people from using prompting.
Because we're not there yet.
Yeah, and it has not the most.
It's not a first class feature yet.
First class, yeah, it's
unfortunately.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So sorry to those people using it out there.
We are aware.
We are aware. We want to improve. It will take some time.
Yeah.
But it's on roadmap, and it will happen eventually.
Eventually, absolutely. Don't say the bad word. You know.
That's true. The like S***N.
Okay. Cool. No, I'm looking.
You know,
absolutely.
almost looks the same.
I like the S10 map. I think this will be a great improvement. Seeing like quicker on the whole map which countries am I connected to, which countries are available, because like with those names and those dots at the moment, you have to look for it. So very excited to see that, of course, as well. You want to say something else?
Yeah, I was thinking about if we have a sneak peek of that. Maybe we can share something in Discord channel next week.
Yeah,
a sneak peek.
Please don't. Yeah,
I love sneak peeks.
People who like joined us last week know that last time I was in a different setup. And when I started the live stream today, I was a little scared. Like, this is like I lost some of this stuff. So this is the reason why we're back to just Twitter handles and not Mastodon handles and stuff. And also why we're back to me being scared of sharing stuff live. I think it should work for the future. We can prepare something. But
yeah, I would share it afterwards.
Let's do it on Discord.
Yeah.
But for the future, if you're interested, if you want to see us explain stuff inside Portmaster live, we could do this.
Yeah, I think we didn't we plan kind of a section of the live stream some time where we're like kind of big stuff?
A Portmaster corner? Don't know. I like the interaction with the people who are watching.
Definitely.
And it's very cool. Like I don't know if like YouTube's numbers are a little bit weird from time to time. But apparently like people have been waiting for the live stream before it came on. And I'm like, oh, exciting. Today people are right there from the get-go. And we try to do this every 2 weeks just to tell you again. Sometimes like today the topic is a little bit random. But we try to prepare at least one main topic, and today it was the focus. It was, stability, just so you know what has been happening and why this mini stat isn't here yet still. Great. Okay.
So next thing, so we had Portmaster version 1.1.2. And after that, we will start working on user experience. experience, not user experience. Start working on user experience in regards to two things. On the one side, Portmaster interface in general. So there are some things that aren't clear, some things that need fixing. We'll just go through it again, see like all the things are where we expect them to be, kind of check the flow so that people starting out with Portmaster can get a hang of it really quickly and understand it. So we'll probably just adding more text just to increase UX, maybe at a bit of a cost of UI. Kind of just to get the experience right.
Yeah, we also talked about maybe reducing like settings in the simple view, making a split wider between the advanced and the simple view so that you can quickly get to the things in simple view while having more text, the stuff spread out in the advanced view. Yeah, no, absolutely.
So making things easier for first time users.
Yeah.
And the second thing is increasing the user experience in regards to the SPN and how you can route your stuff. So we are aware that people who come from VPNs, they kind of expect something where they just click on a country. That's not really how the SPN works, and we're struggling with finding a way that will both give you this option if you want it, because VPN users are used to it, but at the same time showing you how much more the SPN is capable of and giving you a lot more power with the same simplicity, which turns out to be a hard problem. So that's something we are working on and trying to improve how people can kind of select their destination countries. So it will be countries because that's easy. The SPN can be more granular, and you will be able to do so too. But there will kind of be a simplified version of some settings that will just make things just a couple of clicks that previously you would have to know how to write rules for stuff like that.
And
yeah.
And the countries are one of those things, but we are also hearing people who are asking in regards to prioritizing like plain speed, or some people who want to prioritize latency. This is and you talked about this like in regards to cost. This is part of an algorithm where like Portmaster locally tries to figure out what connection like with those weights is the best one, and we will surface more of those like settings to adjust those weights for your needs, and then to apply them to different like either applications and maybe like domains as well. Not sure about the UI though, and this is sort of like the situation. Like theoretically, technically, the SPN could do it on an IP basis as well, like IP domain. Country, like everything you can set a rule for in the filter list can have a rule in how the SPN works, but
not yet theoretically. And that's the issue that designing an interface that makes sense and is usable and not confusing, and where if you just do something it works as you expected.
And it tells you why it's not working then as well, you know, because at the moment, sometimes if you, for instance, like block, want to force a connection through a country, and then in this country there is no exit, I think it does not tell you why there is no connection.
Yeah, we need to improve there too, kind of to make the Portmaster aware of why things failed. And then either suggest a solution, or at least give you a detailed message. And that's kind of a step up, because we have to go through the whole process and collect this information on what actually happened. Why did we end up here? Um, so, yeah.
Thank you, Sam, for mentioning that we have a good combination of ease of use and configuration. Thank you. Yeah, but sometimes it's not showing stuff and figuring it out first before applying it. There are some already deprecated features which some people are still using, or at least sometimes I see screenshots, which what scares me, where we walked back some of the UI things and so on. So yeah. Another thing Sam brought up was those info boxes, because you're set more text. We sort of want to use more info boxes as well, but not a lot of people are clicking on those, even though it's part of the onboarding thing. Like we explicitly have the last slide is there with the info box or tip up as we call them from time to time as well. But yeah, so those info boxes, yeah, we'll see if it's more info boxes, longer texts in there. I also started doing the wiki, which is easier to edit, easier to sort of get information in there and stuff. So, and if you're interested in writing a wiki article on some cool thing, how you do it in Portmaster, let me know. I think last time, or Avoid the Hack, for instance, already has an account. I haven't checked if he transferred his article from GitHub over there already, but yeah, the wiki is supposed to be a community wiki. At the moment, though, it's invite only, so you will have to reach out first to be able to write in there. But yeah, no, we want to make it easier to get the information out there and make everything more intuitive.
Yeah, some stuff is just too important to hide it behind a click. So some things will just be text in the interface to make sure that everyone actually reads them. For example, if you open the application, the first thing you see is the overview network connections, and it's absolutely vital. Everyone understands this is the last 10 minutes only. So this is really important.
At the moment.
At the moment, this is 10 minutes. Possibly will change, or be configurable or something. Okay. And so
this is a feature I promised at the beginning of 2022 in my blog post. It's still up on the website. Yeah, the recording feature. Yeah, I know.
Wait, which feature?
The recording feature,
the history. Yeah, wait, that's something else.
Okay.
We're talking about two different things here.
You are
related, but different.
Yeah. People will not understand.
Of course, we are working on the. We do want to bring the whole history, but that's just a lot of work, and there are more pressing things at the moment. But we're looking so much forward to get that. To YouTube. So.
Yeah. That the use case would be recording, like you install a new piece of software and you want to make a profile, understand the software better, and you don't want to keep Portmaster open all the time to see it and see it within the last 10 minutes, especially with no auto refresh at the moment either.
So something to solve,
Yeah, so that you can keep recording it for longer periods, weeks, months, and stuff like that. So this is still a feature we are planning to do. It's just, as you already heard, the next thing, mini stats, after that SPN map, after that SPN configurations, going deeper, giving more settings. User experience. Exactly. Exactly. And then again, features. So
yeah, but we don't have a fixed plan.
And
that's kind of our horizon.
Exactly.
We don't have to plan too far because it'll change anyway. So that's what they call agile, right?
That's what they call agile.
Great.
No, and of course I thank you again, Sam, and I think maybe some others as well who appreciate us doing the fixes first. We know that it's usually the shiny stuff that gets the attention, but for us, we just want to we use Portmaster and SPN every day on all of my devices, and it's we feel it from time to time as well. the last fixes you did in regards to it being in different countries than they're supposed to. I never experienced that, but
I experienced that actually
okay.
just yesterday. I was expecting to be needing to add in rules for this one website, and it just worked. I'm like, cool.
Okay, and then you're like, this is a bug.
No, it worked. So
Okay,
I
no,
was,
now with
I
the
was expecting that I would need to add rules for it to work, to force it to one country to unblock something.
But now after the update, it works.
Works out of the box.
Exactly, but before, so
Yeah.
again, I'm sort of like starting to wrap up.
Oh, okay, good.
So please let us know if you find something. Just because it's how we figure out what's working and what's not.
Yeah.
We know we're different to other software in that regard, but it's just the reality of not using Google Analytics or anything, you know? We don't see what's not working on your end. Yeah, then again, quick thank you to everybody who's supporting our work. We saw a lot of people who were like, or at least on the Discord, like the last week somebody wrote and then actually did the upgrade. Very cool. This is what helps us keep on developing and keep on focusing on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you to all of you. Maybe one last service announcement. I'm thinking of maybe deprecating the Twitter. Just if you are following us on Twitter, we're thinking of moving to Mastodon. Our handles are already in the description, so we already moved. I am sometimes on Twitter, but mainly on Mastodon. If you have suggestions, like I run my personal Mastodon on a node I host myself, but you said the Safing account should not run on its own node.
I didn't explicitly say that.
Okay, but I felt that you were like...
Yeah, I don't feel like...
Absolutely.
Maintaining another service.
Yeah. So much a reason why there's no public Matrix channel yet. So much the reason, therefore. But if you feel like we should join a server, a Mastodon server, maybe where you are already in, let us know.
Well, especially kind of fits
our
setting.
Let us know.
Privacy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
you were already joking that we should join.
There's some kind of privacy.lol service, you know?
Yeah. Let us know in the description. Send us an email. But this is basically what we're thinking of. If you think we should join a Matrix channel, you can tell us, of course, as well. But we'll see. Hold your horses. I did some work on Discord already. I think I already said this earlier, but there's a guide now with some questions, and it will help you figure out in which channel what to post and stuff. So yeah, I'm doing some house cleaning in that regard, improving the user experience. And I guess that's it. Do you want to add something?
No, I think that is all.
Great. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one.
See ya. Bye.